Your family needs you, son.
On the next episode of Dutton Ranch.
The whole Jackson family's crooked. They ain't ranchers. They're thieves.
I need you ready for the hard parts when they come. Because they're coming.
The gun
Beulah Jackson is dying. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. While she fights for her last breath in a hospital bed, her son Rob Will is making a move that will destroy everything she built. He is taking control. He is making decisions. He is reshaping the entire ranch in his image. And by the time Beulah opens her eyes again, if she ever does, the Jackson family will be nothing like she left it. This is the moment everything collapses. This is the episode that changes the game forever. Beulah Jackson is dying. These are not empty words. This is not dramatic speculation. This is the cold, brutal reality playing out in real time as episode 8 of Dutton Ranch opens. The woman who has controlled 10 Petal Ranch with an iron fist for decades, the mother who made impossible choices to protect her family, the matriarch who bent the entire Jackson family to her will through sheer force of personality and ruthlessness. She is now lying in a hospital bed, and her body is failing her. The medical emergency that struck her down in the previous episode was not a small thing. It was a breaking point. It was the moment when all the stress, all the pressure, all the impossible decisions she was forced to make finally took their toll. But here is what makes this moment so devastatingly important. Beulah did not collapse randomly. She collapsed at the exact moment when she was forced to name Rob Will as her heir. This was not her choosing her favorite son. This was not a moment of clarity or maternal love. This was Beulah being cornered, being threatened, being pushed into a decision that went against everything she believed in. She wanted Joaquin to inherit the ranch. Joaquin was the loyal one, the dependable one, the son who actually deserved to carry on her legacy. But Rob Will forced her hand. He manipulated the situation. He backed her into a corner and made her choose. And in that moment of desperation, when she had to make an impossible decision to protect the people she loves, her body gave out. Her heart could not take it. Her mind could not accept it. So she collapsed. And now she is dying. While Beulah fights for her life, while she is hooked up to machines and surrounded by doctors who are trying to pull her back from the edge of death, something far more dangerous is happening at the ranch. Rob Will Jackson is not sitting by his mother's bedside. He is not waiting for her to recover. He is not showing respect or patience or any of the qualities that make a leader worthy. Instead, Rob Will is doing exactly what everyone feared he would do. He is taking control. And he is making his first move as the official head of 10 Petal Ranch. This is the moment that defines everything. This is when Rob Will shows the entire ranch, the entire family, exactly who he is and what he is capable of. He is not cautious. He is not thoughtful. He is aggressive. He is reckless. He is a man who has been hungry for power his entire life. And now that he finally has it in his hands, he is not going to waste a single second. Every decision he makes in these crucial hours will ripple through the entire ranch. Every order he gives will test the loyalty of the workers who have been with the Jackson family for years. Every move he makes will either strengthen his control or expose his weakness. And the worst part is this: Beulah cannot stop him. She cannot intervene. She cannot use her voice or her authority to keep her son in check, because she is fighting for her life in a hospital bed. She is powerless. She is voiceless. She is trapped in a situation where she named her reckless son as heir, and now she has to watch from a distance as he makes decisions that could destroy everything she built. This is not just a medical crisis. This is a complete power vacuum at the worst possible moment in the Jackson family's history. Joaquin is watching this unfold. He knows his brother. He knows what Rob Will is capable of when given power. He knows that every decision his brother makes is going to be wrong, selfish, and dangerous. Joaquin had to watch his mother name Rob Will as the heir instead of him. He had to swallow that rejection. He had to accept that despite his loyalty, despite his hard work, despite being the son who actually deserved the ranch, his mother chose the manipulative one. And now he has to watch as Rob Will takes that power and starts making moves that could destroy the entire legacy. The question is, how long will Joaquin stay quiet? How long will he stand aside while his brother tears apart the ranch that his mother sacrificed everything to build? How long before the betrayal, the pain, and the impossibility of watching his birthright get destroyed by his own brother forces Joaquin to make a move of his own. But that is just the beginning of what is happening in this episode, because while the Jackson family is falling into chaos, while Beulah is dying and Rob Will is taking control, something else is unfolding at Rio Paloma, something that will change the entire direction of this war. So what is Rob Will's first move, and how will it set off a chain reaction that destroys everything? While Beulah Jackson lies dying in a hospital bed and Rob Will Jackson is reshaping the Jackson family ranch with his reckless first moves, something far more dangerous is unfolding at Rio Paloma. This is where the real investigation begins. This is where the walls start closing in on whoever orchestrated the attack on the DUTTON ranch. And this is where Rip Wheeler transforms from a man acting out of pure anger into something far more calculated, far more methodical, and far more lethal. Rip is no longer just protecting his home, he is hunting. And the prey he is hunting is someone who was never supposed to be found. The attack on Rio Paloma was not a random act of violence. It was not a spontaneous decision made by desperate men looking for a quick score. This was coordinated. This was planned. This was executed by people who knew exactly what they were doing, exactly where to strike, and exactly how to cause maximum damage. But here is what makes this attack different from every other threat the Dutton family has faced. This attack had help from the inside. Someone within the gates of Rio Paloma, someone who walks among the ranch hands every single day, someone who is trusted and accepted, provided information to the people who attacked. Someone gave away the ranch's security weaknesses. Someone told the attackers when the guards would be in certain positions. Someone revealed where the vulnerable points were. And that someone is still at the ranch right now. Rip understands this. He sees it. He feels it in his bones. When he walks the property and looks at where the attack happened, when he examines the details of how the attackers got past the security, when he traces the patterns of the assault, all the signs point to one devastating conclusion. This was an inside job. The ranch was betrayed by someone close. The trust that Rip and Beth placed in the people around them was exploited. And that realization is more dangerous than any external threat could ever be. Because an enemy you can see coming is one thing. An enemy standing right next to you, pretending to be loyal, pretending to be part of the family, is something entirely different. This is what transforms Rip in this episode. This is what takes him from a man consumed by rage and a need for immediate vengeance into something far more dangerous. He becomes a hunter. He becomes methodical. He starts paying attention to details that most people would overlook. He watches the ranch hands. He listens to their conversations. He notices who acts differently after the attack. He observes who seems nervous, who avoids eye contact, who is not telling the whole truth about where they were during the assault. Every single person on this ranch becomes a suspect. Every single friendship becomes questionable. Every single loyalty comes under scrutiny. Because Rip knows that whoever this traitor is, they are still here. They are still living at Rio Paloma. They are still eating meals with the people they betrayed, and they are still working every single day while carrying the weight of their treason. The promo materials make it clear that Rip's investigation is starting to reveal patterns. The attack was too coordinated to be random. The people who carried it out knew too much about the ranch's operations. They knew where the security gaps were. They knew when the vulnerability would be greatest. They knew exactly how many people would be in specific locations at specific times. This level of knowledge does not come from observation or guessing. This comes from someone on the inside providing detailed information. And Rip is starting to piece together who that someone might be. He is eliminating suspects one by one. He is looking at alibis and finding holes in stories. He is watching behavior patterns and noticing inconsistencies. And with every piece of evidence he uncovers, the list of possible traitors gets smaller and smaller. But here is what makes Rip's situation so complicated. He cannot just accuse someone without proof. He cannot just act on suspicion because he is angry. Because if he accuses the wrong person, if he moves against someone who is actually innocent, he risks tearing apart the only community that matters to him. He risks destroying trust among the ranch hands who have been loyal to him and to Beth. He risks creating chaos at the exact moment when Rio Paloma needs unity and strength to face the Jackson family threat. So Rip has to move carefully. He has to gather evidence. He has to build a case that is so solid, so undeniable, that when he finally reveals who the traitor is, there will be no question about guilt or innocence. Meanwhile, Beth Dutton is working an entirely different angle on the same problem. While Rip is hunting the person who physically helped the attackers, Beth is digging into the financial and political reasons behind the assault. Beth understands something that most people miss in moments of crisis and violence. Money is always the real story. Violence is just the method. Someone wanted Rio Paloma to fall. Someone wanted the Duttons pushed out of Texas. Someone had a reason, a motive, a financial incentive to see the ranch destroyed or taken over. And Beth is going to find out who that someone is. Beth is the kind of woman who can take apart a business deal, expose a hidden contract, trace a money trail, and find the truth buried underneath layers of deception. She is looking at who profits if the Duttons lose Rio Paloma. She is investigating which family benefits if the Duttons are forced to abandon Texas the way they were forced out of Montana. She is digging into land records, financial documents, and hidden agreements. She is asking questions that people do not want to answer. She is pulling at threads that other people would ignore. And with every thread she pulls, the picture becomes clearer. Someone wanted this attack to happen. Someone paid for it. Someone orchestrated it not out of passion or anger, but out of pure, calculated self-interest. The danger in this moment is that Rip and Beth are closing in on the truth from two completely different directions, but they are getting closer to the same enemy. Rip is hunting the hands that pulled the trigger and the voice that provided the information. Beth is hunting the mind that gave the order and the money that made it possible. And when both of them find their answers, when both of them have the evidence they need to confront whoever is responsible, that person will have nowhere left to hide. The net is tightening, the walls are closing in, and whoever betrayed Rio Paloma is about to discover that there is no escape from Rip Wheeler and Beth Dutton working together. But the danger is not only coming from outside the family, and it is not only about the attack or the traitor at the ranch. The danger is also tearing the Dutton family apart from the inside, and it is specifically affecting the next generation. It is affecting Carter Green, the adopted son of Beth and Rip, the young man who represents the future of this family, and the hope that they can build something different than what came before. And Carter is falling apart. So what does Rip discover about the traitor, and how does Beth's investigation change everything about who is really behind the attack?